What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Barbells and Bangers. Man, we have so much to talk about today. And you know why? Because I do this podcast every week, and every week I come up with things to talk about. I don't have headphones on today. I'm freestyling it. Hopefully I sound good, because I have no idea. I'm just kidding. I tested my sound before I started talking. I never thought to do that, to like just test the microphone and then just like trust that it'll sound good. I just feel like I have such a fear of like the sound being messed up, because it's been messed up a couple times, that if I take the headphones off, that like it'll all just be messed up. But I got over my fear today. And because I'm wearing this beanie, I didn't want to put the headphones on over it, because then it's like I can't even hear what's coming through the headphones anyways. So it's kind of like silly. I don't know. Do you put the headphones on? Do you not put the headphones on? What are the rules? Also, the reason I'm wearing this beanie, well, first of all, it's kind of cold today. It feels like February outside. It's like 40 something degrees, I think, and it's rainy and just what is going on? It was like 80 degrees this weekend, and now it's winter. So I don't know what's going on. But also, reason I'm wearing this is because, well, you guys know I'm very good at injuring myself in stupid ways. And I hit myself in the head with my guitar yesterday. And I will try to explain to you how it happened, but it's really just, I'm kind of not very smart. I had the guitar sitting on my couch because I was playing it, and then I set it down because I wanted to watch something on TV really quick. I think I was like playing guitar in between watching the fight, so I want to like turn the volume up on the fights, but I dropped my remote. So then I went to go get my remote, but my guitar, the neck of my guitar was like kind of like hanging off the couch a little bit. So I bent down. This is the guitar. Bent down, and straight into my head went the guitar. So I've got this, I don't know if you can see it, but I've got a little red mark, a little bruise. It hurts. I hurt myself. So that's why I got this on. I got to hide it until it goes away, you know? Or I just put Band-Aids on my face like Nelly used to do. That might be the move. I don't know. But anyways, today we've got a couple different beverages that we're sipping on. I've got some hot coffee. And I drink my coffee black, by the way. I don't put any cream or sugar. Like, come on. Quit being so soft. Just drink the coffee. It tastes good how it is. Delicious. It's Highlander grog. The best. The best of the best. So I got some coffee I'm sipping on. And I've also got my well-being, as you already know. I love this company. They make non-alcoholic beer, and they make sparkling water. They really just do it all. They're making all kinds of beverages over here. But I'm drinking their sparkling water right now. I like to have sparkling water when I have coffee, because, I don't know, I just do. So I'm going to be sipping on this in my Manifest That-ish cup. Go to wellbeingbrewing.com. Use my code BrieEckert for 10% off. Okay. Now we paid the bills. Let's go. So let's talk about Max Blessed Holloway. Got it done. I will admit, that is the first time that I actually thought that there was a possibility that Holloway might lose. I usually never really doubt Max Holloway, except, of course, with Volkanovski, because it's Volkanovski. But with anybody else, I'm usually like, okay, well, Holloway's going to win. But this time, because Arnold Allen is really underrated. I feel like he just doesn't really get the respect that he deserves. And I feel like he's up there in the division. He's up there. But Max Holloway just showed us that he's still the second best featherweight. At least right now. There was the Max Holloway era at one point, and it was a beautiful time. But now it's the Volkanovski era. And the problem is, I don't want to see that fight again. I don't want to see Volkanovski and Max Holloway fight for the 17,000th time. We're good. We got it. Volkanovski won 3 times. Max Holloway won 0 times. Now, what I will say about that, the first fight was close. I will not say it was a robbery. I'm just going to say it was close. I had it scored for Max, slightly, but I wasn't mad about the decision. Second fight. That was Max. That was all Max. I thought Max won that fight. I mean, I didn't think it was like complete robbery. I did in the moment because I was fired up. I was like, oh, it was a robbery. But then once I kind of thought about it, I'm like, okay, it was a close fight again. And it just shows that those 2 guys are the best in the division. They are the best. Nobody can really compete with them at that weight class. But I thought Max Holloway won. And with the first fight being so close, I thought that they should have given it to Max, since he was the champ. And then, I don't know. It's just, I thought Max won the second fight. But it doesn't matter because the third fight, Volkanovski proved that he is the better fighter. So it doesn't matter. But, so I'm not mad about it anymore. Once Volkanovski beat Max Holloway for the 3rd time, then I was like, okay, you win. Okay. All right. Can you guys stop fighting now? Because I'd like to see some other people fight besides you 2. Like, it's just, this division is a mess right now. Like, who is, let me look at the rankings. I looked at the rankings last night, but I already forgot who all is ranked at featherweight. Okay. So, Volkanovski's the champ, obviously. Yair Rodriguez is number 1 contender. They're supposed to fight, I believe, in May. And then Brian Ortega is number 3. Arnold Allen's number 4. I'm assuming he'll probably stay where he's at, I guess. Because Max Holloway... Is Max Holloway going to move up? No, he's not going to move up to number 1 contender because Yair Rodriguez is number 1 contender and he has to fight Volkanovski. So I don't think the rankings are really going to change. I mean, you wouldn't move Arnold Allen down after losing to a decision to Max Holloway in a 5-round main event. I mean, the fact that he even survived all 5 rounds that's impressive in itself. And he didn't get like dominated. I mean, Max Holloway won 4 out of 5 rounds, but it wasn't like he like completely mauled him or anything. So I would say that Arnold Allen probably should just stay where he's at in the rankings. I don't think he should be moved down or up. But looking at the rankings, I just don't know who would be next for Holloway. I think he said he wants to fight Korean Zombie, and I do like that fight, but I just don't know what else does Holloway have to prove at featherweight. I don't think he has anything left to prove. I think his next fight, is just going to be Holloway just reminding us who he is and just being like, hey, look at me, fighting people and stuff. Like, he's not really out there to prove anything anymore. He doesn't have to be. Unless he fights Volkanovski again, which nobody wants to see that. So, yeah, and that is interesting too, because let's say Yair wins, well, okay, then now we got something interesting going on. And now, but it depends on how Yair wins. If Yair wins and it's like a close decision, then he'll probably rematch Volkanovski, because Volkanovski's going to want his belt back unless he plans on moving to lightweight. But then if Yair like knocks him out or submits him or something, which probably won't happen, let's be honest. But if it does, because you never know, the sport is crazy. But if it does, then I don't know. Then I would see a case for Yair versus Holloway title fight. And that would be cool. So that's what I'm hoping for. I am hoping that Yair beats Volkanovski convincingly, and then he can fight Max Holloway. Max Holloway can take his belt back, and let's go. Let's go. I don't know. That's what I want. I love Max Holloway. How can you not? How can you not love Max Holloway? He's great. He's got to be one of my favorite fighters. And his performance against Calvin Kattar is probably one of my favorite performances that I've ever seen from any fighter. I mean, he was like ducking and bobbing and weaving and freaking throwing. He threw more punches in that fight than most people have thrown in their whole career. It's crazy. It was insane. And the fact that Calvin Kattar was able to still stand up afterwards is insane. But yeah, gotta love Holloway. Also, Edson Barboza. Can never count him out. Never can count him out. I wasn't really surprised that he won, that he knocked him out. I wasn't surprised because that's the kind of thing that Edson Barboza does. Just saying. But yeah, we got some interesting fights coming up. We have some interesting fights that were supposed to happen that are no longer going to happen, which is kind of disappointing. Yeah, that sucks. Trying to think. Yeah, Oliveira and Dariush were supposed to fight. That was supposed to be the co-main event in May, I believe. Is that in May or is that in July? I keep getting these main events confused. No. Volkanovski is fighting in July. That's what it is, I think. Now I'm really second guessing myself. But I don't know. They're supposed to fight this summer. Who cares what the date is? So the co-main event. Oh yeah. No, it is in May because the main event is Aljamain versus Cejudo. So yeah, that's the next pay-per-view, UFC 288. So Charles Oliveira is injured. I don't know what the injury is. I haven't really heard much about it. And Dariush no longer has an opponent. That was such a... I was so excited for that fight. Really disappointing. Really disappointing. But what are they going to do? Are they going to totally scrap that fight? Or are they going to get Dariush a new opponent? Because I feel like Dariush is the type of guy who's probably just down for whoever. I don't think he... I think he's the type of guy who will just fight whoever is in front of him. I don't think he's scared of anybody. But who would they put against him? I don't know. I really like the idea of Dariush versus Poirier. Oh, I love that fight. I love it. Love that fight so much. I wish we could see it. I don't think it's going to happen though. I don't know if Dustin should take Dariush on short notice. I don't know if anybody should take Dariush on short notice. That's just not a smart idea. That's a guy you want a full camp for. But I don't know. We'll see. I hope they don't totally scrap the co-main. I hope that they come up with something else. Because that's such a big fight. Anytime Charles Oliveira is fighting, it's a big deal. So we'll see. I don't know. Man, Dustin Poirier versus Beneil Dariush. That fight gets me excited. There's really nobody else in the division that gets me as excited as that fight. Like Justin Gaethje versus Dariush doesn't really interest me that much. Yeah, I want to see Dustin Poirier. If they get a new opponent for Dariush, I would want to see Dustin Poirier for sure. That is what I would want. But yeah, it was good little fight night. Definitely some exciting stuff coming up, some exciting fights in the wing. And I don't know. UFC, I was thinking about this the other day. It's kind of incredible how many events the UFC puts on every year. It's actually insane. Like they got their system down to a science because they just keep putting on events and now they're doing like a lot more international now that COVID is kind of done. So that's exciting. But Yeah. Early predictions for Cejudo versus Aljamain. I don't know. I don't even want to predict that fight. My first instinct is Cejudo. That's my first instinct. I've always been a big Cejudo fan. I think he's probably he's got to be the smartest guy in the UFC. Like his level of knowledge of combat sports is just off the charts. And he has probably some of the best fight IQ I've ever seen. So I think Cejudo might win. I don't know. I think he's a better fighter. I like Aljamain. I don't have a problem with him, but let's not forget the way he got his belt. Just saying. He got his belt after getting whooped by Jan, and then the illegal knee, and then it was a DQ, so he got the title. And I think getting the belt gives you a certain level of confidence, and I think that's why he was able to beat Jan the second time convincingly. And also I think he might be a slightly better fighter than Jan in some ways. I think it was just not Jan's night. But when they fought the first time, Jan was clearly the better fighter. He was beating him on the ground, on the feet, everywhere. So I don't know. I think it'll be a good fight. I think it'll be competitive, but I think Cejudo will win. That's my thought process. I don't know how he'll win, but I just have a feeling that he'll win. Maybe a decision. I don't know. We'll just have to see how it plays out. But I'm excited for that fight. That's a good fight. And it will be fireworks. So, or it might be really boring. I don't know. No, it won't be boring. It'll be fun. Well, I love watching high-level grappling. Like, that's something people don't understand. I love knockouts. I love all that stuff. But I'm probably a bigger fan of wrestling than I am of striking, as far as, like, watching it. Because I understand wrestling. I understand grappling. And maybe it's because my dad has always been a big wrestling fan. He's always been a big MMA fan. So, like, he used to take us to wrestling meets and stuff, and I would watch wrestling. So maybe that's why I understand it better, because I've watched it a lot. But I really love watching wrestling, and hopefully soon I'm going to get somebody on that knows a lot about wrestling. A lot. So we'll see. I've got some guests in mind that I want to have on. Not all of them are MMA, not all of them are fitness, but I want to have some really interesting guests on. So stay tuned, guys. But yeah, and then there was a double retirement last night. That's crazy. So 2 guys fought each other. Was it Zach Cummings and I forgot the guy's name. What was the guy's name? The other guy that retired. Why can't I think of his name? I was multitasking when I was watching the fights last night until like the last few fights, because I had so many things I needed to do, and I kind of forgot about the fights, to be honest, because it's a fight night. They never like market it the same as they do the other, like the main event, like the pay-per-views. So that kind of threw me off. I was like, oh, forgot there's fights tonight. What is that guy's name? Oh, must have been on the prelims. Because this is the main... yeah, I don't know. I don't remember the guy's name. But Zach Cummings, I believe, is the guy that fought him and also retired. So 2 guys retired at the same time. And we don't really see that often. I actually couldn't even believe it when I saw him taking his gloves off, and I'm like, wait a second. And then they like hugged each other. I'm like, man, I'm gonna like cry right now. Like, this is crazy. But yeah, you don't see that often, and just a lot of respect was there, and that's always cool to see. It's always hard to watch fighters retire, but it's good to watch them retire, and it's not like they've been getting beat for years and years. Then it's kind of sad. You're like, oh man, they should have retired a while ago. So love to see it. Respect. And speaking of retirement, Clay Guida faked a retirement to get a post-fight interview, and I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was so funny. Oh my gosh. Like, he took his gloves off, and then I can't remember who was doing the post-fight interviews. Was it Rogan? I don't know if it was Rogan, but it was somebody. DC maybe. And they asked him about the retirement. He's like, what do you think, Kansas City? And then he's like, I'm not retired. I'm like, it reminded me of that scene from Wolf of Wall Street where he's like, I'm not leaving. I love it. I love when fighters do silly stuff like that. It's just hilarious. And how can you not love Clay Guida? The guy is just, like, how old is he? He's got to be like 40 now. And he keeps, like, he brings it. He still brings it. He still brings it every time. I mean, he lost, but you got to love him. He's so like good vibes. I love people like that. Like, he's great. I like Clay Guida. He's pretty cool. But that was pretty funny. I don't think I've ever seen a fighter pretend. I mean, I'm sure it's happened many times, but I haven't seen it in a long time. A fighter faking retirement to get a post-fight interview. Savage. I love it. Everybody's hating on him for doing it, but I love it. I support it. Let's go. Oh gosh. Anyways. Yeah. Good night of fights. Always love watching the fights. Even if it's just a fight night, it's fun. And there were a lot of good fights. It wasn't just like the main event and the co-main were exciting. And that's why I always tell people, like, if you're going to watch the fights, don't just wait till the main event, like a casual. Watch the whole thing. Watch all the fights. You have to. You can't just skip to the main event. Because what if the main event sucks? Like John Jones versus Cyril Gane. You wait till the main event, and then that's all you see. When there were absolute bangers on the card leading up to it, you got to watch all of them. You got to watch the prelim. I watch the early prelims sometimes. I used to wait for the early prelims to turn on. That's how excited I was to watch fights. And I would sit there and I would watch all the fights. I wouldn't miss a beat. Now I have more things going on in my life, so I don't get to do that as much as I would like to. But yeah, I used to make it like a whole event. I would get snacks. I'd make steak dinner, make tacos, whatever. And I would just sit there and watch the fights and just be in the zone. Why is there a hair on my microphone? I'd just be in the zone watching the fights. Because watching fights is one of my favorite activities of all time to do. But my other favorite activity is fitness, which I will talk about in this episode. Just had to get a little caffeinated, you know. I'm doing the podcast during the day now, which is crazy. I used to just do it at night, but I realized that at nighttime I am tired, and I do not do my best work when I'm tired. So I'm doing it during the day now because I think during the day my brain works better. So we'll see. I'll watch it back and I'll make my decision if I want to keep doing it during the day or if I want to do it at night. I don't know. I like doing it at night because I like it to be chill. Like, I like the podcast to be like a laid back vibe, chill, no pressure, not trying to be polished, not trying to be perfect, just trying to be me, just trying to be authentic, just trying to be myself. That's what the podcast is for. So you can see my authentic personality. As goofy and silly as it is, this is what it is. This is me. So like it or not, that's okay. That's okay. But I do want to talk about some things in fitness. I want to talk about fitness influencers because I see like a lot of different conversations about fitness influencers. I need to move this chair. It is bothering me. Okay, there we go. And I got to move my camera now because I moved the chair. Okay. So I want to talk about some things in the fitness industry, specifically on social media. So there are a lot of fitness influencers out there. There's tons of them. You've got, I'm trying to think, like Whitney Simmons. She's like more female focused fitness influencer. You've got Greg Doucette, who's like basically like the Gilbert Gottfried of the fitness industry. He's always yelling. It's kind of funny, actually. Then you've got Andrew Huberman and Jeff Nippard and like more science-based type people. You've got Jesse James West, who honestly, Jesse James West might be one of my favorite. He might be my favorite fitness influencer. Just because like he's so high vibrational and like so he's just like such a good vibe, like good energy, and he's always positive, and I think his videos are really well done, and he's really entertaining, and so he might be one of my favorites, and he's so young, he's only 23. And then you have like the Alex Eubanks, who I actually like. Alex Eubank. A lot of people hate on Alex Eubank, but I actually like him. I think he's just being himself. Like he's just being authentic, and I think that he reaches people who aren't reached by other influencers because, you know, he's Christian. He talks about his Christianity a lot, and he talks about just life in general, and he's building his company, his merch company, Elysium, and he's got all these different things going on, and he's really grinding. Like he's got such high ambition. He's got such big goals, and I love that about him. And I hope that he achieves everything that he wants to achieve, because I see the work that he's putting in, and I see his dedication, and you got to respect that. You got to respect the grind, honestly. And what's funny about Alex Eubank is that the Trend Twins recently moved in with Alex Eubank. So if you don't know who the Trend Twins are, so Bradley Martin and Larry Wheels just did a podcast together, and they were talking about the Trend Twins, and they had some things to say. But I'll give my opinion on the Trend Twins. So the Trend Twins are basically like these two kids. I think they're from like Detroit or Michigan, somewhere in Michigan or something like that. And they're like meathead type kids. I think they're like 22. They're not very old. They're young. And they're just kind of crazy, you know. Their whole energy is like, they're just always yelling and clapping, and it's just like they're insane. And they have a large following though on YouTube and on Instagram. So they reach a lot of people. There's a lot of people that watch them. And if you don't know what Trend is, Google it. But that's their name, the Trend Twins. And it's funny because like I think they used to be natural and now they're not, because now they're actually trying to compete in bodybuilding. But apparently they used to be natural, but they were still called the Trend Twins, which is hilarious. Like a lot of people hate on it, but I don't know. I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. And here's my opinion on the Trend Twins. So to me, the Trend Twins is almost like kind of like the Jackass of the fitness industry, somewhat, in the sense that like, or maybe not the Jackass of the fitness industry, maybe like the Viva La Bam of the fitness industry. Like they're just goofballs. They're just crazy. They're nuts. They're crazy. And they're always saying ridiculous things. And like they did a video recently where they were talking about the video. I think the title of the video is like the benefits of ego lifting. I'm like, like who is doing this kind of stuff? And they're like, they're talking about like the benefits of ego lifting. And here's the thing, like, yeah, should you take what they're saying seriously? Most of it, probably not. Like they're characters. They're characters. And so yeah, you shouldn't take everything they say seriously, but you also have to remember that it is entertainment. Like they're doing it to entertain people. And that might be their real personality, but they're doing it for entertainment value. Like they're doing this stuff to entertain people. And I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. I mean, I think that, yeah, maybe there are some things that they say and do that could negatively influence, you know, young kids. But I think for the most part, it's like, well, you know, if you are that influenced by somebody, then you should probably be careful what content you consume. There is some level of personal responsibility for that. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, some of the stuff they say. I mean, their name's literally the Trend Twins. What do you expect? Like, what do you expect them to be wholesome? Like, you expect them to be like Jeff Nippard? No, like if you want fitness content that is actually like meant to give you the facts and give you like good advice and be a good influence, then like go watch Jeff Nippard and go watch people like that who actually are gonna give you just the facts. But if you want something that's entertaining, then that's when you'll watch, you know, like a Jesse James West or Trend Twins or whatever, because they're doing it to entertain. They're not, you know, they're not personal trainers. They're not scientists. They're just crazy. I am excited to see like what they actually do in bodybuilding though. Like when they compete, I'm like, can they? What are they capable of? I don't know. Who knows? Because it kind of reminds me of like Colby Covington a little bit, where like he plays this whole act, and then he goes out and competes, and he's actually good. So it's like, what if they actually make something happen? What if they're actually good? I don't know. And then that would just be hilarious. Like if they just crush it in bodybuilding, that would be actually hilarious. But we'll see. I don't know if they have the best discipline with like their nutrition and stuff. And supposedly Greg Doucette is coaching them. But it's pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, I think some people take stuff too seriously. It's like they're just funny. They're entertaining. And I actually kind of like that they're collabing with Alex Eubank now, like they're living together, because you get to see like their personalities kind of clash, and it's really funny. It's really funny. But I don't know. I think they're probably like, yeah, they're probably influencing people to do things that aren't necessarily a good idea. But at the same time, I think that they're turning a lot of people onto fitness, a lot of young people, and I think that's a good thing. So I think as they get older, they'll probably evolve, and they'll probably not do as much silliness as they get older. They're still so young. Like, just let them be kids. They're kids. Come on. Let's not be a Karen. Like, you know, like that's what some people sound like when they're talking trash about the Trend Twins. It sounds like, you know, well, my generation, you know, it's just like, who cares? People are too soft nowadays, I feel like. I don't know. But I think it's funny. I think their content's hilarious, and yeah, I don't know. I think it depends on, like, if you're looking at it and you're watching it as a fitness educational experience, then yeah, it's like, don't watch it. But if you're just wanting to watch them for entertainment, yeah, it's pretty funny. So I don't know, but that's my opinion on it. I think that yeah, some people just take things too seriously sometimes. And it's funny, but I wanted to talk about too, like, just fitness influencers in general. And I think that there's a big conversation about that right now. I think a lot of people either can't stand fitness influencers, or a lot of people like them. So let's talk about it. I need some more caffeine before I get into this conversation. Yeah, let's talk about it. So I think fitness influencers are great. I don't think there has ever been a time where more people have been into fitness than right now. I don't think there's ever been a time. And I think it has a lot to do with fitness influencers. I think it's great. I think it's probably one of the best things to happen to the fitness industry is people creating content and creating YouTube channels, podcasts, whatever, to get the information to the people for free. So people who can't afford a personal trainer, they can go watch Andrew Huberman or Jeff Nippert video and get a lot of great information that they would probably get from a personal trainer. So, or they could go watch an actual personal trainer on YouTube and get information from them. So, and yeah, you have to be careful where you get your information from, but it's the same way if you go to a gym. Not all gyms are giving out the right information about fitness. So let's not pretend that going to a gym, you're guaranteed to get all the right information, because there's a lot of gyms out there that they're still doing stuff way old school. And I think that's the problem with a lot of gyms, is that they get stuck in their ways sometimes of doing things, and they don't change and mold and evolve. So I think fitness influencers are great because, you know, you have a certain level of responsibility when you're creating content to make sure that you're putting out the right information. And when you go to a gym, you don't necessarily have that. It's just if the owner of the gym or the owner of the corporation approves what you're doing, then it's fine. And that information could, like I said, could be outdated. So I think fitness influencers are making a huge impact on the general population getting into fitness. And I think that they're also bringing up a lot of conversations that people just didn't have before. You know, like more women are lifting weights now. Also, on a negative side, more men, I think, are taking steroids, which is not good. But I don't know how much of that has to do with fitness influencing. I don't know how much of that has to do with just more people are competing. More people are, I don't know. I guess when more people get into fitness, you would expect more people to get into stuff like that. But I don't know. I think it's a good thing. I think what I have a problem with fitness influencers are the fitness influencers that lie about what they're taking or lie about what they're doing. So, and it's not like they're just straight up lying. They're just maybe not revealing all the information. So, for example, if somebody is on steroids and they're giving out fitness advice, they're selling coaching programs, they're selling workout programs, and they're using their own physique to market it, but their own physique was created by using steroids, and they're not disclosing that, I have an issue with that. Because you're not being honest with people. You're giving people unrealistic expectations. And that is the part of it that really bothers me. Like with the whole Liver King thing. Now, guys, if you saw Liver King and you thought he was natural, I would like to know what you are smoking, because that is the least natural looking guy I've ever seen in my life. Like, did anybody really think he was natural? Oh yeah, just eat raw liver. No. Are you kidding me? It was so obvious that he was on steroids, guys. Come on. But some people thought he was natural, and those people paid him a lot of money. A lot of money. I think he made like $100 million or something. Like, see, that is just criminal. That is just criminal. But, yeah, so I have an issue with that. I have an issue with people, or even people who, not even steroids, but just people who, they achieve a good physique because they work out all the time, and they don't have the same challenges that other people have, but then they act like all they do is like a 30-minute workout 3 days a week, and that's how they achieve their physique. It's like, no. You're in the gym lifting weights 6 days a week, and you're going to pretend that doing your 30-minute ab workout is how you got those abs? Come on now. Like, it's just be honest with people with how you did things. Like, I always try to make sure that I tell people exactly what I'm doing. Like, that's why every once in a while I'll upload a video and nobody ever watches them. But I upload videos about my current workout split. Anytime I change my split, I always make sure to tell you guys what I'm doing. And I always try to just talk about my routine in general, what supplements I'm taking, what recovery methods I'm using, like I'm doing ice bath, all that kind of stuff. I always try to make sure I'm transparent about that, because I don't ever want anybody to get the wrong idea or think that because I'm doing an ice bath, that's how I got my physique. Like, no. The ice bath has nothing to do with my physique. And taking protein powder has nothing to do with my physique. Because the most important things are the way you train, the way you sleep, the way you eat. So if you don't focus on those three things, then all those little, ice bath, protein, pre-workout, none of that stuff really matters if you're not taking care of those three things. So that's why I always try to be transparent, and I try to, just tell you guys what I'm doing so you know. And I don't have like an award-winning physique. I've never competed in bodybuilding. I probably never will, because it's just not really something I have the desire to do. I think it's really cool and it's very interesting to me, and I like watching it. But I've never really seen myself competing in bodybuilding. It's just, I think I would probably be good at it, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm all about that life. You know what I mean? I don't know if I really want to do that. I want to compete in something at some point, but I don't think bodybuilding is the move. I don't know. But yeah, so fitness influencers, I don't think they're ruining the fitness industry. I think they're helping the fitness industry. I think that it's good to have accountability in the fitness industry, and when people are talking crazy, to put them in their place. But sometimes that even gets out of hand. So I don't know. I think it's good. I think that one thing I don't like about fitness influencers is like the TikTok fitness influencers sometimes get pretty annoying. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I haven't really been on TikTok really that much anymore because I think it's going to get banned, probably, let's be honest. But I haven't really been on it, and it's because I just don't know. It seems like it's just the same stuff over and over again on TikTok. And like, I've tried to like fix my algorithm and like search for things that I like. So I see stuff that I like. It's just I see the same stuff over and over and over again. And I'm like, is everybody just making the same videos 3,000 times? So I don't know. And that's why I think I've been trying to make like more original content, like short form content, instead of just hopping on trends and doing all that kind of stuff, because that gets old. It gets exhausting. It's like, okay, I got to make a clip to this audio again for this reels. Like I just started making reels that are things that I'm passionate about and that I get excited about, instead of just trying to hop on every trend that I see. So I don't know. That's how I look at it. But yeah, TikTok kind of gets repetitive, kind of gets old. So I don't think anybody's really making that big of an impact on TikTok compared to YouTube. I think YouTube's always been king for just influencing people in general. So I don't know. I think also the whole TikTok thing with like girls going to the gym, basically wearing underwear and then getting mad at guys staring at them. Like, what is the deal with that? Can we stop doing that, please? Because now people are afraid to even look at you in the gym. Or people are afraid to talk to you because they think you're going to post it on your TikTok and act like you were assaulted, even though you weren't. Like, it's gotten out of hand. And like, I like to look cute when I go to the gym. Like, I might have a little shorts on and a little sports bra, but I'm not, if somebody looks at me, I'm not gonna be like, what are you looking at? Like, I'm in a public place. I expect people to look at me. Come on. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? It's ridiculous. Okay. If you don't want people to stare at you, don't go to a public place. It's pretty simple. Get a private gym. But here's what confuses me. So you're taking a video of yourself working out, which the camera is pointed directly at your butt. Directly. You're taking a video directly at your butt, and somebody looks at you, but you're recording yourself, but somebody looks at you in the gym, and you get mad, and you go off, excuse me, sir, what are you staring at? Stop staring at me. But what were you going to do with that video? You were going to post it online for potentially millions of people to view. So you're mad one person at the gym looked at you. But then when 50,000 people on TikTok look at you, it's fine. what? What's going on? I don't get it. And I'm not trying to like talk crap on anybody, but I'm truly just trying to wrap my brain around it. I'm trying to understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. If you don't want people to look at you, don't take videos of yourself. Like, I take videos of myself working out. I don't care if people look at it, and I don't care if people look at me at the gym. It's a public place. Come on, guys. Get it together. What are we doing out here? This is ridiculous. Anyways. Yeah, it's that kind of thing just drives me up the wall. It drives me up the wall because it's just people trying to get attention. You're trying to get attention, but then when you get the attention, you don't want it. Okay. Then don't ask for the attention. Don't record yourself with the camera pointed at your butt if you don't want attention. Like, it's pretty simple. Oh my gosh. I don't get it. I do not understand why people do this sort of thing. It's just crazy. All right, last topic before we finish off. Let's finish off with something spicy. You know, when I first started this podcast, I wanted to be a people pleaser. I didn't want to say anything that could potentially hurt someone's feelings, offend them, or even any potential kind of disagreement. I always tried to avoid that. But I think that's stupid. I think that I should just speak my mind and say what I think about things, and some people will agree with me, some people won't, and that's fine. But let's talk about the Bud Light controversy. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about it. Yeah. So Bud Light put rainbows on their cans, and people freaked out. And I'm saying they freaked out. And I guess Bud Light's whole thing was like, okay, we're supporting the LGBTQ plus exclamation point, whatever it is. I'm sorry. I don't know all the letters. LGBTQ plus is what I remember it being last. And I'm sorry if I got that wrong. I don't have anything against people in that movement. I actually have friends that are part of that movement, and I respect everybody. I just like people. You know, if you want to go, if you feel like you are, you know, a woman, a man, or if you don't feel like you're either one, you don't feel like you belong to either, I think that's okay. I think people should just have the freedom to be who they are and live your truth. So I support you. I don't understand all of that goes into it, and I'm still trying to learn more about it and learn just how to be more respectful to people that are in that movement, and just kind of learning more about it. You know, keep in mind, I am from Missouri, not the most progressive place in the world, so I'm still learning, guys. I'm still figuring it out, and I got friends that they try to help me and teach me all this stuff. But yeah, so I have no problem with it. But Bud Light says that they're supporters of it, and that's why they put the rainbows on the cans or whatever. I don't know. I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. It's marketing. It's marketing. That's all it is. And let's not pretend that Bud Light is such a big supporter of the LGBT. They are not. They are not. Have you seen, if you took a poll of people who drink Bud Light and asked them if they support that movement, I guarantee it would be like 1% of them. Like, it's not a big percentage. I know people that drink Bud Light. That's not their market. That's not their target market. Okay. So, yeah. So people were outraged. And here's the thing. Like, the people that were outraged are more like people on the right. But here's the thing. It's like people on the right are always complaining about cancel culture. And it's like, well, or they complain that people are too sensitive. And it's like, well, you're being awful sensitive right now because you're not even drinking a beer because it has a rainbow on it. What's going on? It's just the hypocrisy is kind of ridiculous to me. And I don't identify really with either side of the political thing. Like I kind of just lay back and like watch it and eat my popcorn and watch everybody fight each other. And I'm like, oh my God. Cause I feel like I create my own beliefs. I don't attach, my beliefs are not attached to any certain political party. I just believe what I believe. And if I think something is right, I believe it's right. If I think something's wrong, I believe it's wrong. But what I think about the Bud Light thing is I think that Bud Light is trying to appeal to a younger market, and they're using this movement as a marketing strategy to get younger people to drink Bud Light. I think that's what it is. And I think if you think it's anything else than that, you're being naive. So I think we should be mad at Bud Light, but not because they put rainbows on their cans. We should be mad at them because they're exploiting a movement to use it for their own marketing to put more money in their pocket. Like, it's a big corporation. Anheuser-Busch is a huge corporation. I live in Missouri. I live less than an hour from the whole facility. They're a huge corporation. They don't care about you. They care about money. Come on, guys. Don't be silly. So yeah, so I think we're mad at Bud Light for the wrong reasons. I think we should be mad at them for exploiting a movement and using it to market their beer to young people. Which, let's also remember, alcohol is literally poison. So, I don't know. That's all I got. I will see you guys next week. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching if you're on YouTube. Peace.